coordenadora de fronteiras climáticas da UNESCO, Rubis, participou da mesa de debate sobre conhecimento indígena e ciência no Fórum de Ciência, Tecnologia e Informação para Desenvolvimento Sustentável. Hi Jennifer, how global warming is harming the indigenous villages around the world?
Okay, global warming is having a noticeable impact on many indigenous communities around the world. This is most visible or most seen in places that are highly vulnerable, in environments that are highly vulnerable, like the Arctic, for example. Inuit hunters report that they have to travel longer to find the ice and to catch the fish because there are of the changes in the sea ice. It's the same for reindeer herders as well in the Arctic in Europe. They find that because of the warming of the ice during the winter, what happens is the snow gets covered with a layer of ice, so that their reindeer cannot go through and dig into the ice, which means that the reindeer as a higher percentage are starving. In small islands, people talk about intrusion of salt into the soil, such that it's harder to get a good harvest, or it's not so fertile as before. So these are just some of the examples in very highly vulnerable environments where indigenous peoples live, that there are impacts of global warming or climate change.
And how important are these conventions to the discussion of climate changes?
These coming here and sharing our knowledge on climate change and telling people what's happened is really very important for indigenous peoples. We need to draw attention to the fact that the world is changing, and that because we live exactly in very vulnerable environments, indigenous peoples are the ones that are noticing it first. And so we're the ones that are having the most threats to our, not just to our way of life and our livelihood, but also because it affects our culture, it affects our language. So we need to come to forums and we need to talk in spaces where we can be heard, so that policies can be made that, when on the one hand hopefully will have an impact on mitigating the impacts of climate change, but on the other hand also to support the adaptation that is going to be needed to ensure that our cultures and our lifestyles remain healthy and remain as they were.
Thank you. Amanda Sorato para a TV PUC-Rio, na cobertura da Rio+20.